Hi, this is Anika Christian, author of Fight for Your Marriage. And today I would like to just share some exciting news that this week I will be publishing a book that my friend Donita Howell wrote many years ago. For those of you who have read the book, Fight for Your Marriage, you'll see that Donita was a very dear friend of mine who encouraged me and supported me when my marriage was falling apart back in 2001. Donita encouraged me to read my Bible. Donita encouraged me to pray. Donita encouraged me to believe that God would save my husband and save my marriage. So it brings me great pleasure to be able to share with you a book that Donita wrote before she passed in 2007. Well, it's not actually a book, but what it was, she shared a document with me called Before the Big Day. And it was just a Word document typed up in black and white. And it just kind of had some bullet points. And it also had some very thought-provoking questions for single women to ask themselves before they got in a serious relationship with the opposite sex. And it gave women very serious questions to ask as they proceeded to go into a closer relationship with the gentleman, and to just really ask themselves before they committed to a lifelong marriage relationship. So I'm so excited to share this with you. All you need to do is go to fightforyourmarriagetoday.com and go to our shop, and you will see the book Before the Big Day. And it has a lot of good counsel for my single sisters who want to interested in getting married and staying married. And I'll just take a few moments to share it with you before we go. But this is the document that Donita, that I recently had an opportunity to work with someone to get it printed, or not printed, but to just really make it nice, where it won't just be the black and white that Donita gave me years ago. So this is Before the Big Day, and if I do a forward at the beginning and just kind of share some more feedback as to how this book came to be, because I held on to it for many years, ladies. I held on to it as a treasure, like just one of the few things that I had with Donita, because we were friends back before Facebook and before cell phones with cameras. And so I don't really have a lot of memories of Donita, but I did have the manuscript for this book she shared with me. And I also have her obituary from her funeral. And those are some of the only things that I have from Donita, and a few of the letters that she wrote me. So it brings me so much joy to be able to give this gift to my sisters in Christ who have not yet said I do. And even if you've already said I do, you may be able to glean some counsel from Donita's book. So she just talks about, she does an introduction, and then she continues with asking some questions about our personal lives, because we need to make sure our relationship with Christ is on a solid ground, on a solid foundation, before we try to get into a relationship with a man. So these are some important things that she addresses here. She talks about, are we studying? Are we looking at our inherited and cultivated tendencies? Do we have any issues that are unresolved that we need to take care of before we get married? And then she goes into the next section about how do we know how to take care of our bodies? Because we want to be healthy. God says, beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in good health. So she outlines some things that we need to be aware of, how to take care of our bodies. We are aware of God's methods of education, true education, to reflect God's character in this world. And it also talks about friendship with faithful men. How can we form a good relationship with the opposite sex, starting with the friendship? And as we continue, we see that it just some questions about engagement, moving on, progressing, just talking about some really important questions that we need to address before the big day. And then she talks about, in summary, happily ever after, just encouraging us to just seek first God's kingdom and making sure we're choosing God's methods. And that brings me to the end of Donita's book. And then I just kind of share some sources for those of you who may be interested in doing your own study after you read Donita's book. She shares some sources that you may be interested in checking out. And at the end, I have about the author, and you'll be able to see Donita's lovely picture. This was my friend from many years ago. And then you'll see more about the ministry, Fight for Your Marriage with Anika, and how you can get in touch with us, and also about our marriage and family restoration initiative. So again, if you have not done it already, I encourage you to go to the website, Fight for Your Marriage Today, and go to our shop page. And once you go to the shop page, you'll see Donita's book. It's an ebook and it's free. I'm giving it to you for free because I think this is so important. And while you're there, you'll see that we're giving away a lot of other free resources. So I hope and pray that you'll take advantage of these resources as God has provided for us. We want to share this information, this literature, and this wealth of knowledge that God has blessed us with. We want to put it in your hands. So I hope and pray that you'll take advantage of this wonderful resource before the big day. May God bless you as you fight the good fight of faith. Thank you.